Mayor Glenn Lewis spoke with the local media on Wednesday afternoon. He sat down in one of his conference rooms and had an intimate chat with the local media, talking about how things are different from this tornado from back in 1999, and he was specifically talking about some of his experiences with the federal level, especially FEMA. In fact, it didn't take 3 days this time. They were on the ground within an hour. And he also spoke about the residents more, their resiliencies, and his promises of a comeback.
We had so many residents that were so upset at us for not allowing them in, but actually that's the National Guard that's not allowing them in. The governor had posted the National Guard there, and basically after we spoke with her, we decided that there's really nothing there to steal. It's all torn up, it's debris. So if people, if you were a looter, you'd go broke going through that stuff because it's all demolished. So why not let the people go in and get their stuff, their pictures, whatever they need to get. And, it's an emotional thing, so people need to get in there. They need to have that basic closure, just like if you had lost a relative or whatever. And a lot of people, they need to have that. So there's certain things that they're looking for that, I'm sure there's an item, a favorite coin, a ring, or something that you put in a box at your house, and they did the same thing. So they want that back, and that's what they're looking for. The major things, they're not looking for the washing machine, they're not looking for the dryer, they're not looking for anything, but just that certain little thing. There's probably 10 or 12 little deals that they want. They used to be grandma's, grandpa's, whatever, but that's what they want back, and I see no reason to keep them out. He basically offered his condolences to the citizens more, and especially those who lost their lives. He said him and Michelle were praying for us. He was very, very concerned. He's a very connecting guy. He told us that anything we need, the federal government was basically open to us. And he said, if you look out your window, he said, I have a FEMA director fixing to land the Black Hawk helicopter. And I asked him if he was watching that in real time, and he said basically yes. But he offered complete support of the federal government, which I got to tell you, when the FEMA guy came, Mr. Fugate, and we sat at this table and talked, it was a completely different organization than it was in '99. So they've learned a lot of lessons, and so have we. The differences between FEMA, they were, first of all, it took them 3 days last time to get here, and this time literally just an hour or two. We had FEMA trucks rolling through town, and they were Johnny on the spot. They still have boots on the ground. We probably saw with the people who were going through the rubble with the dogs and stuff, there was probably over 120 of them out there the last couple of days, going through with the cadaver dogs, doing basically last minute checks to make sure that our guys didn't miss anybody. We actually used thermal imagers after the first night to look for survivors, and the thermal imagers this was probably the first time they were used in a tornado disaster. We don't know that for sure, but on a large scale it was. And we had got those for our fire department through a Homeland Security grant a couple years ago. So that was very beneficial, and I told the president we appreciated that. And this tornado was actually a mile south of where the last, or 2 miles south of where the last one went, I believe, because the last one hit the First Baptist Church up on North 27th, and we're talking South 19th. So it's about 2 miles difference. Now, what you look at is in 1952, we had 2 people killed in a tornado when a trailer house blew away, and they were killed in that. We had no deaths in the city of Moore from a tornado till the '99 tornado. 6 people died in that tornado, just as bad as this one. We put in 6,000 storm shelters, I believe is what they quoted today. That's not my number, that was theirs. And we had, out of this storm system, we lost 24 people. That's also including in Oklahoma City. 19 of them were ours, 5 of them were Oklahoma City's. And most of those, unfortunately, 10 of those were children that were killed at a school. So overall, even though it was an F5 tornado, 2 F5s, which probably only one other city in the country's had one of those, I believe it was in Alabama, have had an F5 tornado. Who would ever expect that you would have 2 of those, ever? And then you look at, one of the questions I get, I've got this all day long, is like, gosh, why didn't you do more? It's like, okay, you live in California. Would you build a safe room in California for an earthquake? And would you rebuild if your house was destroyed? So that's the question you have to ask yourself. the answer is probably yes. And it's like, why? It's because it's home. So, yeah, that's what we do here. We rebuild. And it's going to come back stronger. I don't mean to be crass or anything, but this is going to create a building boom. So we're going to take people that are injured first, and we're going to take care of them and make sure that everybody, that as best we can, we're going to make them whole again. And hopefully we'll get them a new house. I talked to Secretary Donovan from Housing and Urban Development just about an hour ago, and he assured me that they were going to help us on people that don't have insurance. They've never offered that before. That's another one of the differences. They've allowed us opportunity to go on and clean up private property if we need to, as long as we get a waiver from the property owner. They didn't allow that. We're still talking about slab removal. I hope to get that. I may be wishing, but I'm still trying to get it. And I got a maybe, so that's better than no.